What would you say to anybody who's maybe a bedroom, would you call it a bedroom DJ?
Yeah, hobbyist
DJ. A bedroom hobbyist DJ that would like to get themselves out there a little bit more.
Just find anywhere that would interest you to go and play. Like when I first started playing out in public years ago, when we had the Zoo and Wilders on Main Street, there's a little middle room between the two. And for a while, DJ Johnny Feedback, the first Wednesday of every month, he would have open DJ night. So anyone who wanted to try their hand at playing out in public, they could go in that space and play. And that was my very, very first time ever playing out in the open, getting out of my cave, so to speak.
The Richard Fortin Presents podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Richard Fortin Presents. I am here with Matt Chemery.
Hello.
Did I say that right, Mathew?
It's a French from France. Chemery.
Chemery. Je m'excuse, Mathew.
It's all good.
Mais à North Bay.
Yeah, born and raised in North Bay. It's the motherland.
That's great. Thanks for doing this. Also known as, of course, DJ Shim.
Yeah, I like scratching records.
Yes, you do, and you do a great job of it.
Oh,
and
thank you.
You have quite this story with how you've basically gotten to open for all kinds of interesting people and competed around the world. Like you're in this global
against people all around the world.
Against people all around the world.
Global competitions.
How did you get into? So explain to me, as if I didn't, have any interest in this stuff. What the difference between an MC and a DJ and a rapper and hip hop is?
Oh, okay. Well, it's, MCs and rappers are more or less the same thing. It's everyone knows what a rapper is, right?
Yeah. You talk, you make up the rhymes, you
exactly.
speak.
It's
your voice.
You're writing poems and lyrics and rhymes and stuff and putting them to a beat, more or less.
Right.
And expressing yourself that way. Hip hop is more like it encompasses DJing and breakdancing and rapping and graffiti and
so it's kind of like
beatboxing.
urban pop music, urban
expression. Let's call it that way.
Urban expression.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hip hop. What's a DJ? What does DJ Shim do?
I am what's called a turntablist DJ. So
Okay.
I got the two turntables and a mixer, and I'm scratching records. I'm beat juggling records, and I consider it like an elite form of DJing because, I mean, your typical DJs, you're blending and mixing songs or beats, and depending on those genres of music, kind of dictates what you are as a DJ. So if it's house music, you're a house DJ, right? If it's drum and bass, you're a drum and bass DJ. With turntablism, you're doing that, but then you're adding on these additional complicated layers of things like scratching, which I've always kind of equated to like a guitarist playing solos, right? Those creative abstractions. And then beat juggling is when you take typically like two of the same beat, like on the left or right turntable, and then you're stopping and starting the records at different kicks and snares to create a whole new and different beat in real time with your hands. So it's very much not only an audio experience, but a visual one too.
Yeah. That's so
very
cool.
challenging. It's like a big mathematical jigsaw puzzle.
So did you just like buy a turntable one day and you thought, I want to figure this out, or a couple turntables? Like what was the process for you?
I became fascinated with the art, and that all started because like I love music, grew up listening to all kinds of different music. My mom had a big record collection. My brother Pierre had a lot of different records as well. My oldest brother Rob listened to a lot of like alternative and industrial music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I had a wide variety of music growing up. And I started hearing some of my favorite like industrial songs remixed by DJs and hearing scratching, and just became fascinated with what that is.
Cool.
And then started doing research and finding videos. And then eventually I found like competition videos of DJs, turntablists doing their things.
And you went into the competition world.
That came a little later on, yeah. Once I was fascinated with the art form, I remember getting my first pair of turntables, which was a Funk Master Flex DJ in a box set for $100. So you got two belt drive turntables and this really cheap Newmark brand 2-channel mixer. And I didn't even have like DJ records specifically. I just had like old Italian records and just like Jethro Tull records, things like that. And just started playing around with the music and seeing what I could do. And it took me about 5 years before I could finally get a decent pair of proper direct drive turntables off of eBay and a proper mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes time.
It does. Yeah. I still use those turntables. They're like from the late 70s, I think, my make and model of turntables.
Really?
They're old. They're built like tanks.
Yeah.
They'll last forever.
Sometimes old is good.
Yeah, they're built solid for sure.
Cool. So bring me through. So you start, it takes 5 years to get the proper equipment, but then you take it on a whole other level and go see how you do on an international competition. Tell me about those competitions. How does that work?
So the biggest one is the DMCs. It stands for Disco Mix Club.
Yeah.
And it has been around since the mid 80s. And it was strictly reserved for, again, like typical DJing, right? Blending and mixing songs and records. And it wasn't until 87 where an American DJ by the name of DJ Cheese incorporated scratching. And that just kind of blew everyone away. And they kind of never looked back and made it into a turntablist battle.
Okay, cool.
I've always kind of called it the DJ Olympics because it's a global competition. So every country has regionals and you compete in your regionals. And if you win that, then you move on to nationals. So everyone who won the regionals throughout the country all meet up to compete for nationals to see who will represent their country on the world stage, which every year it bounces around, but typically it's England where the world finals are. But it bounces around. Last year it was in San Francisco. I think this year it's in Paris.
Very cool. Very cool. And that allows you to kind of refine your skill too, because you have an objective, you have a deadline.
Yeah, the format is you have to make a 6-minute routine, and you have to kind of make it the best routine. Yeah. You're not competing against like individuals per se. You're competing against everybody. So you want to make the best 6-minute routine you can possibly make. And DJs spend months and months and months working on a 6-minute set. So.
Sure.
So as you can imagine, like some of these sets are pretty refined and complex and intricate and just amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You still, you opened for recently. Did you open for somebody recently? The
most recent gig, 2-3 weeks ago now, I opened for Shaggy Two Dope, who's one half of Insane Clown Posse.
Okay,
That was
cool.
pretty fun.
Yeah?
Bunch of juggalos.
Yeah?
Yeah, everyone showed up in clown costumes and makeup and clown masks and all that. Yeah, they have a following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun because you get a glimpse into these different worlds.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But those shows kind of came recently. The opening for famous acts didn't start until a little bit before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Basically, I've been a bedroom DJ for the last 20 years. I'm not a professional. I'm a hobbyist.
Yes.
Who just spent hours and hours practicing the craft in the basement. And then eventually started getting the odd like wedding gig and the odd bar gig.
Yeah.
And you do what you love long enough that the right people started to notice. Yeah. And playing for big acts started with a Canadian rapper by the name of Robbie G.
Okay.
He saw me open a local hip hop show. Who is the traveling? The MC at that time, the big act for that show, was a rapper from BC, I believe. His name's Kripel. Mm-hmm. And so they were just doing a cross-Canada tour. And Robbie G, who's one of the big opener acts for Kripel, saw me and really liked what I did and kind of just remembered my name for any time he comes across Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
And he was the one who said, hey, I want you to open for Fetty Wap. That was my first big name. So, and this was in Sudbury. All my gigs are always in Sudbury.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fetty Wap was the first, and then after that was Tech Nine, which was incredible. That was he's so talented.
Yeah.
Tech Nine, Chris Calico, and then based on the success of that show, I got asked to open for Snoop Dogg, which was insane. That was the biggest show I ever did. That was like 5,000.
That's a legend.
People. That's a big.
It's a hip hop legend right there.
Yeah. So that was a surreal show. And then from there, they kind of just kept pouring in. Mad Child from Swollen Members, Afro Man, was a fun one. Who else? Tony Yayo, who's a member of G Unit, so 50 Cent's crew. Who else is in there? There's a few other ones. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but Yeah.
So for you, the performance is what you get off on. Like you love performing because it's really a performance art.
It is. Yeah.
Like there's nowhere, can I go and download something you've done somewhere or listen to your set?
So here's the thing. I don't like, and I probably should do this. I should start making like mixes and putting them up on like SoundCloud or something like that. But no, most of my stuff is just, live performances. So even for most of these big shows that I do, I don't even know necessarily what I'm going to play. I will just create a crate of songs. And then from there, I'll figure out in real time at the show, okay, what am I going to open with? How am I going to transition this song into that song? Like it's all just process. Kind of improvised in the moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time I ever actually do like proper preparation is for like DMC routines. Because those you don't wing. Those are very meticulously prepared.
Sure. Now, music isn't the only art form you practice. I mean, I know you as a graphic designer and editor and jack of all trades in the media production.
Very artsy fartsy. Yeah. That's how I make my millions. I'm a graphic and web designer, interactive multimedia. That's how you and I originally met years and years ago when I worked for Studio 1117. Yeah. And we were in
the McIntyre building at that time?
Yeah. What's the name of that building?
2222 McIntyre?
Yeah.
Kennedy building.
Thank you. The Kennedy building. Yeah. That's where we first met.
Yeah.
Because I helped you guys redesign your Millette Goring website at the time.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
I remember going in your office and I saw a tractor mixer and I thought, this guy knows what tractor is.
I still have it. I still have it.
Yeah.
That's cool. So is there a thread, a creative thread that runs through sort of your interest? So you have the music and yet you do visual arts too. I mean, you really work in visual art.
Yeah. Effective communication is all it boils down to, really. And then it's just depending on the medium, right? So graphic design is usually like anything visual. If you can print on it, I can design it. So over the years, I've made hundreds of posters and billboards and signs and vehicle wraps. And again, if you can print on it, I can design it. And then you got the web development side. So building websites and CMSs like WordPress and things like that, e-commerce.
Yeah. You're into tech.
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, really, right?
I utilize tech.
You utilize. Yeah.
You use computers all day, every day, and then everyone thinks you're a computer wizard. And no, that's not the case. I just use computers.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Cool. What projects are you excited about these days? Is there anything that you're doing that it gets you kind of like, oh, I want to develop that? Like you talked about making mixes maybe, or is there something that in the next year we should look out for if we're discovering you today?
Mostly my heart is in battling. I like competing against DJs battles all around the world. That's where I fell in love with the art form. And it's a beautiful and challenging art form. And it's amazing to see what people come up with. My favorite thing that I've been doing lately, the last few years, is something called Flipper Flop. It's an online battle league. So it's not a competition. Well, it is a competition, but it's different in that it lasts like 2 or 3 months. And every week is a different challenge. Yeah. So this is hosted by a DJ from Kitchener-Waterloo area. His name's DJ Vect. Okay. And he's like a 7 or 8 time world champion. Like he's won the DMCs. Like he's beaten everyone around the planet numerous times. So he started this labor of love, this online battle league called Flipper Flop, where any DJ from around the world can come in and compete. Not only DJs, but producers. There's 2 sides to this competition. So how it works is every week is a different challenge. So one week will be a scratching challenge. The next week will be a beat juggling challenge. And so any producer who wants to enter this competition, they have a week to make the offering. So like a beat or a scratch tool. And then on Saturday, Vect releases all of those tools to the DJs, and the DJs have 24 hours to make a 1-minute video, a routine, and record it and submit it to them. And then on Sunday at the deadline, we all go on to Twitch, which is the platform where we all watch and We all watch in real time all these videos that have been submitted from people all around the world.
With the same stems.
The tools, exactly,
tools,
right?
yeah.
So one DJ might use this tool from this one producer, and then the next DJ will use a different beat or scratch sentence from another producer who submitted. And we go through every video, and he'll give an initial flip or a flop. And once we've weeded out all the flops, then he figures out who placed top 3 out of all the flips, and then that's how the DJs make points that week. And whatever tools those top 3 used, that's how the producers make points.
Okay.
And it just goes like that throughout 2 or 3 seasons. And I've been competing in this online battle league for a number of years now. Made it to semifinals, made it to finals. I've competed against guys who've legitimately become world champions through this competition.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun.
Cool.
It's so much fun. I love it.
So you're obviously a super creative person. Does it help with your everything, or is being creative? Because you have a lot of responsibilities too. You have a family. You have a young family, right?
18-year-old daughter, 15-year-old son. So yeah, they're getting up there. Actually, not so young anymore. Yeah, became a parent quite young. Yeah. But yeah, no, very busy life. Family man, designer, DJ.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment, honestly.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm very happy because again, I'm pretty artsy fartsy and creative, so I've got plenty of outlets for expression.
That's awesome. Now you mentioned big brothers earlier, right?
Yeah, 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers?
Yeah,
so
and a
you're
younger sister.
And a younger sister. So you're not the baby of the family.
No.
Are any of them into the creative stuff?
My brother Rob is an incredibly gifted, fine artist.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's got the God-given talent. I had to work more at it compared to him.
Really?
And then my brother Pierre, he's creative when it comes to wheeling and dealing things. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was a store called Collector's Corner in North Bay.
Yeah.
It mostly dealt in sports memorabilia, specifically hockey. So he was really good at wheeling and dealing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Same with records. He had a real knack for collecting and
finding,
trading records. Yeah, he was really good at that too.
Yeah. That's cool. So now, where do we find you? Where do we follow you? How do we participate in your sort of next adventures?
I've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/DJ Shim. SHIM DJ Shim.
We'll find you.
I'm also on Instagram. I think my name's Turntablist _DJ Shim. Yeah, that's basically where I post most of these little online competition videos that I make.
Cool. What would you say to anybody who's maybe a bedroom, would you call it a bedroom DJ?
Yeah,
hobbyist DJ. A bedroom hobbyist DJ that would like to get themselves out there a little bit more. What would your advice to them be?
Find anywhere that would interest you to go and play. Like when I first started playing out in public, years ago, when we had the Zoo and Wilders on Main Street, there's a little middle room between the two. And for a while, DJ Johnny Feedback, the first Wednesday of every month, he would have open DJ night. So anyone who wanted to try their hand at playing out in public, they could go in that space and play. And that was my very, very first time ever playing out in the open, getting out of my cave, so to speak.
That must have been exciting.
It really was. And I was pretty well received because I had no idea how that was going to go. So that was my first exposure.
So to just do it, to find
just
somewhere.
Get out and do it. Exactly. Yeah. And I know North Bay doesn't have too many bars or places like that.
Is there anywhere left? Lou Dogs plays? No, not that kind of music.
I do like Lou Dogs because they are an outlet for local musicians to go and play. And they seem to be pretty open and receptive to having anyone and everyone go in there and try their hand at performing.
Yeah, I think that's the one bright spot right now, to be honest.
I'm sad that the Raven closed recently because that used to be one of my favorite bars to play in because like I would play at places like the Summit, which is, again, no longer around. But that was, even though there's a lot of people and it was a lot of fun, it was kind of expected like dance and popular songs at the time, right? Whereas I really enjoyed the Raven because I like playing a lot of weird, eccentric stuff. My heart's in like trip hop and acid jazz and those kind of things. So that's the kind of stuff that I would play at the Raven. And it was always well received.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, maybe we can organize something to do like a pop-up show somewhere. I've been thinking about
Oh,
that.
that'd be
a
so
lot.
much fun. Yeah. I'm sure you know Jordan Allison.
Yeah.
He has his own little business doing silent headphone parties.
I know.
And he has the same mentality. He wants to do like pop-up
Totally.
events.
We were talking a couple of days ago, and I was asking him to come on the show because he was telling me about the stuff he's planning, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, him and I. He's another
awesome.
he's another turntablist here in North Bay. There's not many of us. There's
Sound Freak.
Yeah, DJ Sound Freak. So there's not only me and Jordan, there's also Jeff Vossis, who goes by the name of DJ
he's
Cut
good.
Corners. And there's another guy named Jerry Jackson, DJ J-Ax. So we're the 4 turntablists in North Bay. And we're long overdue, but every once in a while we get together for DJ play dates, as I call them. So we'll get like 8 turntables set up and we just jam.
Fun.
And oh my God, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did one in here at one point.
At
didn't
your
we?
art jam.
At the art jam. Were we rolling when we were talking about the art jam? Maybe we should bring that back up.
I've seen.
Tell me what happened at the art jam. What was the art jam for you, for anybody who had not experienced it?
So when I first heard about the art jam, which you hosted here, it was me and Jeff and Jordan, and we were all invited to come into your studio, set up our turntables, and just jam, do our thing.
Yeah.
And I honestly was not expecting to see such a wide and diverse range of different art, different mediums from all kinds of artists across the world.
Yeah,
at the art jam.
there's people
I was
from around the
blown
world.
away by the art jam. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So mad props, kudos to you for organizing such a thing.
You know, I knew at the time that I was getting away with it because the building wasn't completely renovated and I was able to pull stuff off.
Okay.
And I did. So I'm happy I did. But obviously now that things have settled down in the building, I can't do the same thing. But
you have too many
but
too
now
many professionals
I'm
in here
thinking how to bring that culture, how to help nurture that culture. You know, and how to be
someone
part
needs it,
of
like we were discussing earlier. I don't know if we caught it on film yet, but North Bay, for its size, actually has a lot of creative talent, a lot of musical talent. I have so many talented musician friends, like guitarists and drummers and stuff. And I wish North Bay had more outlets and venues for these people to go out and express themselves creatively.
Yeah, outlets, venues, and also promoters, like kind of business managers, people who throw the party.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Who promote it, who figure out the
exactly.
price.
That's why I give props to people like you and people like Jordan with his silent headphone parties. It's also why, like I said, most of my big gigs are always in Sudbury because Sudbury just has more venues and outlets.
Yeah. Well, I think this summer we're going to bring something back. I
hope
don't know
so.
what. But
we did the Bay Block Party
This is
last
my
year.
challenge to us collectively, people of North Bay. I will help. I want to help. Do like I just think people. You wouldn't believe how many people approach me too and say we need to dance. Like there's nowhere really to dance much anymore. So it'd be fun. I think
You know, it's
there's,
funny.
like,
Both my kids are in high school, and high school dances were like a big thing when I was in high school, and
not a
it's
thing.
just not.
They don't
it's just
even
not a
know.
thing like it used to be anymore. I don't know why.
But there's a lot of people who like just. I don't think dance is going to go anywhere for the rest of time. I think it's like a human.
People like
thing.
dancing. Just
People like
another way to
dancing.
express themselves.
Exactly.
Before I became a DJ, I used to teach people how to break dance.
You
I
did?
was actually an accomplished break dancer. I had an agent and everything.
Really?
Yeah, I was pretty good.
So you really have loved the hip hop culture your whole life.
Yeah, it served me quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Cool. Well, thanks for coming in, DJ Shim.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Mathew, it's a pleasure. You've always been so encouraging too with your feedback on the podcast, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it more than I probably express because it's an experiment. You know, like we're doing this for fun. We're gaining skills and we're going to turn it into something. But at the beginning, I was telling you earlier, Joe Rogan took 5 years for him to monetize his podcast. And he was arguably one of the most successful podcasters ever.
Yep.
So it's encouraging for me to hear that because it takes time to figure out what the groove is. Right, Adam? I tend to change things up, you know, and we're figuring it out.
You're always fine tuning.
We're fine tuning. And so to have encouragement and have somebody listen and check in, it's like really, really nice of you to do that.
Oh, hey, no, and the appreciation goes both ways because here you are, you're stimulating local. You're shining a light on a diverse range of people in North Bay, which is pretty cool. Politicians
And I want to do more.
musicians and
Yeah, I want to do
artists.
more.
And again, North Bay for its size has a lot of talent. And You're shining a light on him. So, Matt, kudos to you.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And everyone, please subscribe, please share, please go find Mathew as DJ Shim wherever you listen. And Adam, what do you think? Is that a wrap? Did you learn anything? Adam's into music. Yeah. Like loves making it. Now he doesn't talk. He doesn't want me to talk about it.
I would like to eventually get into producing.
Young talent. My point is there's a lot of young talent that if they had the venue, I think we'd discover even more.
Yeah, you even interviewed a couple of the youngins, MPC Smoke and Critical Trees, those kind of guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you
for having me. We'll see you soon. Ciao for now, everybody. Take care. Bye.